How's it going, everybody, and welcome to, unless I'm wrong, the finale of Knights of the Republic 2, the Sith Lords, the Civilized Run. Now remember, the Civilized Run started as a challenge. It became the challenge to be the opposite of what my first run through of the first game was, which in the first game was to not use any force powers or lightsabers through the entire campaign. It went really well. It was really, really fun. One of my favorite playthroughs I've ever, recorded. Not in the sense of, there's playthroughs I do where I'm, just getting immersed in the story and the world building because it's a whole new experience for me. And that's a whole other, that's a joy in and of itself. But in games like this, where I'm playing kind of more to my strengths, something I already know, but I'm kind of putting a twist on it, I've really enjoyed that formula, and I hope to be able to apply it in the future. And I've loved both of these series in Knights of the Republic. The first one really challenged me to play the game in a way I'd never done it before, and I was shocked at how effective it became. This time, however, because I'm doing the opposite where I did just Jedi powers, essentially I played the game as what I remember playing it when I played it so many years ago when it first came out, except for that early game, which was really different. But now we're here, and we are at the finale. Unless there's a lot of extra content that we're going to cover that I just haven't anticipated, I'm pretty sure I know exactly what's going to happen and how it's going to play out. So it shouldn't be too much. So assuming that I understand it all correctly, we really will hit the end today. And we'll get to the finale, and then I'll give my final thoughts before we're ready to start the next thing next week. So that's really exciting. It's cool because it's right on time for Christmas. The day after Christmas, we start the Starfield playthrough. I think it's very thematic in a way. And then if you are tired of Starfield, or you just are kind of feeling meh about Starfield, I promise I'm planning to do something similar with Starfield that I've been doing in these games, where it's not just oh, I'm just going in and playing it. I'm going to go in and play it in a style, and we're going to try and maybe make it a bit more of a challenging run, but combining it with me going in relatively blind, because I only played the intro on my old computer to see, oh, my old computer's dying, and so I only know about the first 10 minutes of the game. So yeah, it's ultimately going to be brand new. I also I've got some fun surprises set in for that, so yeah, that should be great. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. So without further ado, we're going to get started. I'm going to say right here, we're at Malachor V. This place is kind of rough. It's pretty much just daisy chaining combats again. So we're going to end up having just pretty much hard cuts to all the interesting aspects of this planet. And you're going to find that we're going to hard cut away from our main character here relatively quickly. Just because of the nature of the way that this plays out. It's mostly combats until we have a few key battles, and those ones I'm going to showcase, but everything else I'm just going to blast past because it's really not going to be that engaging. Just think either it's monsters or Sith, and that's pretty much the whole game. But I don't think I get very far before something exciting happens, so let's just jump into it. Alright, there's the Ebon Hawk, just sitting up there. And then further down is the next phase we're going to go to. So up to this point, all I've done is just slay a bunch of what are called storm beasts. It's just interesting that on a planet that has been essentially super collapsed. We're going to go over the details, but essentially what happened is bao-dur and his team developed a technology to kind of overdrive gravity wells. So if you look on Star Wars, it's very common for starships, whether small or large, to have an artificial gravity field. It makes it so that you walk around on the ships, feels like you're walking around on a planet, even though you're in the vacuum of space, and you should be free floating. It's just a common thing that's happened. Essentially what bao-dur did, based on context clues, is that he was able to kind of take the entire fleet, whether the ships were fully functional or partially destroyed, and had them kind of overload their gravitational fields simultaneously, and they repositioned the fleet in such a way that it kind of worked with the very strange gravimetric properties of the planet of Malachor V. It was a kind of a one-time thing that could only really happen in this circumstances, but was it was always theorized, and thus when we had our battle here, it was almost more like a trap that, whilst it was necessary to do, our character, the Exile, went into that final combat knowing this was an ace in the hole, a back pocket, a tactic. Something they hoped they didn't have to use, but recognized they were heavily outnumbered, likely weren't going to get support in time, and if push came to shove, they were going to end the war here, or it was potentially going to continue on for decades. So That's what they did, is they kind of used like the strange gravity like properties of this planet, infused it with overloaded gravitational like generators from the fleet of ships to create a kind of temporary singularity with the planet. So like imagine you were able to use artificial gravity to make the core of a planet kind of collapse in on itself so rapidly that it formed a not a true like black hole singularity, but one that such a spike in gravitational forces that it just essentially ripped all of the ships in orbit, like both Mandalorian and Republic alike, and just smashed them into the planet while the planet's crust just collapsed on itself. And that's essentially what Malachor V was. The disaster of Malachor V was a massacre of two armies battling over a planet, and all life on that planet all simultaneously like dying. Now, the Storm Beasts are either survivors of that, or they are manifestations of the raw, just like, force wounding that happened here, and their life that managed to evolve from there. Like, life in the Star Wars universe is voracious. There are beings that literally live in the vacuum of space. It's not too unbelievable to conclude that life that either was here, was twisted by the Force, and was able to adapt, or was brought here / introduced to this location because of the new properties of the planet. So yeah, enough about the lore dumping. That's what happened here. So now we're gonna go in. I also been using breath control because they have kind of like poison mines that aren't poison mines. They're just permanent like poison sites. You can even see them though. They look like mines in the game, but you go over these cracks and they just spew poison. So I kind of just use breath control to travel around. But here we go. Now we get to phase.
If the exile has come here, then she has not come alone.
Of course, apprentice. The huntress is with the exile. She has a special talent for finding that which should remain lost. It also makes her difficult for me to sense, but not to a creature bred for such things.
Shall I send the assassins for her?
No, I have brought a beast to Malachor to deal with that one. We shall see if prey can become a predator. Her breaking shall be flesh and bone, or it shall be inside. If she survives, she will become stronger for it.
Alright, so Mira has to finish her story completion.
Well, here's a surprise. Yet another slice of galactic goodness. Why can't we ever go to Alderaan or Ithor or someplace without metal, jagged rocks, or packs of bloodthirsty beasts?
Yep. And guess who's here? Guess who's back? Back again. There he is. I do like this much better than the reversal. If you are dark side and you recruit Honhar, Mira is here to hunt him down, which makes like no sense. But it is what it is. Now, what's going to be challenging for her is I don't know if I have an opportunity to like equip her with some of like the new gear I picked up in the last like mission before that combat starts. I hope I do because it'd be nice, but I also need to make sure I think she's a dueling specialist like I am, so I think she only has the one lightsaber on purpose, but I need to make sure. But yeah, we'll be cutting to that pretty quick. But we still have to make our way to the heart of this area and face our demons. So we'll be right back once I get through all the storm beasts. Oh boy, here we go. Ooh, this looks like an actual arena we're gonna be fighting in. It doesn't look like that in the base game. It just looked like a bunch of random rocks.
Honhar? Oh, you have to be kidding me.
The Grey Man female says you have claimed the name Jedi. Her words dishonor you, for she does not believe it. I do not believe it. You have always been prey, Mira. Weak, scared, always running, hesitant to kill. Here on the graveyard planet, you have nowhere left to run. Your eyes of Narshada do not look here. What happens here shall be run, fight, or fight me here. Feel the rage of the planet pour through me. And nothing compared to the hate I have for you. That went a little too fast for me. Oh gosh. Okay. Okay. Okay.
on, Hanhar. You need to go down. I have a few heals in me left. Maybe one. And then I have healing packs. That's all I got going for me. She's doing pretty good, actually. Like, normally this fight is like rough. Like, you have to cheese the crap out of it. But I think I've managed to make a Mira that can hold her own, which is good, because normally he's just a monster. Yeah, I think I made her a Jedi fast enough this time so she got enough force powers and enough force points to be able to manage her own abilities and necessaries. Unless it's like some kind of cheesy second round, I think we're good. Yeah. She even got a crit there. Kill me. Her life death shall be settled. I cannot bear their death twice. It will not be a second death for me, whether you spare me or kill me. There's no need for this. You don't owe me a life debt. I release you. Words will not break the shackles of my wrist. Words will not end the hatred I have for you. My hatred for you will draw the raging storm of this planet and burn hotter than the hatred of the heart of the Grey-Man woman. The greater her feelings the exile. So you serve Traya now. She has chained me with a life debt. She honors me by showing me no mercy, only hatred. She understands the heart of a warrior. And the heart of a slaver. I am no slave. I am Hanhar. Hanhar is taken from Kashyyyk. Hanhar put chains upon those who chained him and betrayed humans' lives and placed my kind. Lead me to Traya, Hanhar. If she is as powerful as you claim, then she will destroy me and you shall be free. The worst smell of truth, and your eyes show no deception. I will lead you to the Grey One. She will end you, and my life debt to you both shall be no more. If that is what you want to believe, it's not like I have any plans of killing you once you served your purpose. This is interesting. I believe this is added content, so I don't know. Will she have to face Traya herself? Because it shows she's gonna die. Or will she somehow be able to join the exile? That'd be interesting. One of the things I like about this spot, and forgive me for being pedantic, but I want to make a reference because there's no greater words for what we're about to see and we're about to walk into than what I feel came from the Gravemind in Halo 2. Behold, this is a monument to all our sins. This is the building that was constructed on the corpse of Malachor V and is the training ground of the Sith, where they teach how to become, at least in some small part, like the exile. So this literally is a monument to her sins. Just, it's perfect. And yeah, it's gonna be fun for us. So after I finagle my way down there, we will see. But I think there's a few other interesting things that are gonna happen before we actually get to the heart of the matter, aka the heart of Malachor V. Oh, yep, here we go. Similar arena, the same arena in fact. But instead of Hanhar, we fight more storm beasts. Well, at least a very big one. Hello, boyo. God, he's just a big boy. Look at him. Oh, he's immune. That's cool. Oh, fetch me. He almost killed me right there. Okay. Better, that's not great. Dang it. Wow, that's annoying. Alright. Think I might have it this time. Whew, okay. Oh, that was terrifying. I had to cheese the crap out of that. That doesn't bode well for the future. It's interesting. I definitely think they might have upped some of the difficulty because I remember by the time I got here in my previous playthroughs, it was never this hard. Like, that was I am so weak compared to what I remember being. So I definitely think there's something going on there, which is good. I think it's good that I'm being challenged in a challenge run, but I'm just surprised. I recall being able to use force powers on this thing, so maybe I'm just misremembering because it's been a long time. Like, I mean, I played this when it came out. Like, it was one of the games I was the most hyped for I've ever been in my whole life. I was young, of course, so that helps, but even then, like, I loved Star Wars, and I loved, like, the concept that they were, like, kind of pitching for it, and it hit all the right notes. I wonder if that's because of Mira and Hanhar. Judging from the number and depth of the blaster burns, these Sith appear to have been recently killed by fire from a heavy repeater rifle. Heavy repeater rifle sounds more like HK. Alright, well, here we go. So the Sith are still here. But they're giving us a nice warm welcome as opposed to not. Interesting. Again, it's like, ugh. That's almost worse than them trying to kill me. Oh boy.
I say we fire a rocket at her right now.
Hey, look at
and blow
them.
her screaming, burning body into
This
the
is
heart
new.
of this planet.
It wouldn't work. If there were other distractions, maybe. If she wasn't telepathic, maybe. If you want to kill her like that, you need something else to occupy her attention. Otherwise, you might just wound her, and then we'd all be in trouble.
This battle will not be decided by weapons.
You are wrong. Manipulation is Kraya's strength, not battle. We have a chance. We just have to figure out how to make use of it.
Interesting. I really wonder where this is going, because this is different. I've never seen that before. I have seen this before, though.
If you are watching this, then what the General suspected was true. The Sith are striking from the graveyard of Malachor V. The ship the Sith Lord was on was one of the vessels damaged in that final battle. If you reach Malachor's surface, the mass shadow generator can be undone, provided there are enough vessels intact within the orbiting debris or buried in the planet's surface. Use the sequence I am unlocking in your memory banks on the engine core of any vessel you encounter on Malachor. If my calculations are correct, 4 vessels should be enough to power up the mass shadow generator and undo the damage that was done in Malachor V, the damage I did. Once the sequence has begun, it cannot be stopped. So make sure the General is off the planet before triggering the sequence. Otherwise, there will be no retreat. I know your weapons systems are minimal, and I don't know what awaits you on Malachor's surface. Try to avoid contact with any potential threats. Follow your programming.
Your programming commands you to find 4 vessels buried at Malachor's surface. Activate the engine systems on each one. Yep. When the engine systems are activated, it'll disrupt the gravitonic anomalies that's keeping the planetoids fused together. Malachor V will begin to drift apart. Warning, you have no offensive weapons. You are destroyed, then you'll have to fail your mission. Travel across the planet as fast as you can. Hit each point and activate the engine system one at a time. So, definitely gotta save here. Now, I did prepare a bit. I specifically explored and found all the locations, which I should be able to show you on my map. So here we are, of course, at the Ebon Hawk. But then you'll find, yeah, we got Buried Republic ship, and then Buried Republic ship, and the next area there are other 2. Now, the original game, it was possible, which I did, is I cleared out all the enemies so that remote has no issues. However, knowing this is like a refresh, they might have seen through that, and they might have refreshed some enemies to try and make it more like a stealth game. But there's a lot more to it. So again, like, what this is ultimately is this going to undo what Malachor has become, because the mass generators kind of triggered that, like, super, like, kind of sub-singularity, but it's still being held together by these generators that are still kind of like the activation of it. I guess, like I said, it kind of worked with the planet's natural, like, some kind of natural aspect of the planet. But by reactivating the generators, we can kind of shatter it and kind of disrupt everything, and this whole planetoid will fall to pieces. But yeah. So So remote is a little bit wounded, but I can fix that. Oh gosh. So I want to make sure this succeeds. Yep, here's the Ebon Hawk, and we get to fly his remote. The best little ball. Now, can I equip him with stuff? Nope, literally nothing. And he's got just a little 1-4 blaster. So, and can I don't think I can even like equip him with anything, right? Cannot equip or remove from the slot. Yeah, so like, he is super, super squishy. But I should be able to proceed directly to these 4 terminals, which are like this. Right here, get in, damage console. Oh. Enter sequence for priming the mass shadow generator. 25%. Okay, that's 1. Here's number 2. Now, thankfully, it looks like I was correct. It looks like I did clear the way because I haven't encountered any storm beasts, so that's positive. Enter the priming. 51.4%. Priming. 73.7. And 1 more. Here we go. Enter sequence. 98%.
If you are hearing this, then the sequence has been completed. When active, it will destroy Malachor. Again, I have one last command for you. You must remain behind and ensure that the sequence fires properly once the general gives the command. If not, then all we have fought for has been for nothing. You have done all I asked, all you were built for, and for that, I thank you.
Aww. But somebody doesn't like this plan.
Touching. The probability of the Iridonian installing trigger commands within your core was high. I see the probabilities have played out. Of course, the probability that I would do the same is equally high. Your inability to move right now is evidence of that. If the General issues the command, only I will be here to receive it. You realize I cannot permit you or the Exile to activate the mass shadow generator here on Malachor. In that, your programming and mine conflict. And since you have no offensive weaponry to speak of, the probability of your programming overriding mine is low. You must understand that the General would not wish the relics or the Sith strength here on Malachor to be compromised. Their presence is needed to stabilize the galaxy. Without them, the galaxy would be reduced to anarchy within years. And if there is anything I can't stand, it's an untidy galaxy. So, let us wait here, you and I, for the General's orders and calculate the probable fate of the galaxy.
Correction. One could rust listening to your speeches, Fat One. Perhaps it is the large unwieldy vocabulator within your moon-sized frame that prevents your calculations from taking me into account. And while I find this small droid annoying in the extreme, I find my urge to shoot you takes a higher priority.
Nice.
Unfortunately for you, I have arranged for friends to meet me here, and you seem to have brought none of your own. Stop him.
Unexpected correction. We cannot harm that unit. It is a violation of our self-preservation programming. Statement. As always, Fat One, you have miscalculated.
Ah, an unfortunate oversight.
Statement. I understand.
Uh-oh.
Assassination protocols activated. Let us see what you have in your arsenal, Fat One.
All I wished was to fulfill my programming. Either way, the Republic is doomed.
Observation. I thought we would never die.
This is all new. That was awesome. But unfortunately, we may not have the chance to leave the planet. But who'd expect HK-47 coming in for the clutch win? Oh boy, and then this.
We've come a long way, Traya. Still far to get
Ah, the Huntress. To come alone, you are braver than I thought.
She is not alone. We stand with her.
And with her, stand all the Jedi.
And now I come in saying something suitably heroic.
Yeah, Atten.
Children with lightsabers, but not Jedi, I think. Come close. Let me look upon you and see what the Exile's teaching has forged. An assassin, wasted pawn of the Republic, a blinded slave, and a fool. Which of you wishes to try yourselves against me? As you can see, I am unarmed.
They shouldn't do it.
You, perhaps. You are a wasted pawn of the Republic, young one. You could have been so much more, even with your wide-eyed innocence, your naive love for others. Think before you throw away your life for her. Think of everything you will lose by dying. Your lusts unfulfilled, a dance unfinished, a love requited. Think before you give it up so quickly. And you, blind one, you have hungered to strike me down ever since you saw the bond the Exile and I share. Can you feel the Force running through me, even past the veil, past your blooded eyes? You know you cannot win.
The Force runs strong within you, Traya. But in the howling of a storm, it is difficult to hear the whisper of the blade. You have forever been the blind one. You were given a gift few are ever given, and yet you let your gift of sight warp you, twist.
You think your existence under your lord was torture, Mira Luca? I will make you see. An assassin.
And runs away. I don't blame him, though. Oh, no.
And I get the fool.
Funny. That's just what I was thinking.
Oh, no! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm just gonna say this is, okay, I don't think we can do this. I'm scared. Oh no. Ooh, this is gonna be rough. Oh no, he's just sucked all the life away.
More where that came from.
Dang it. I don't know if I
Running
can.
away? I'm not done with you yet.
Nor are you.
I don't think I can win that, though.
I will remake you. So when I look upon you, it shall be like a mirror. Then I shall let you die.
There's nothing worse you can do to me. Take your time.
Oh, boy. Well, that ups the stakes.
When the exile enters the Traya's Academy, she will be faced with a choice. One path, assuming she survives, will allow her to save her friends, but she shall be the weaker for it.
Interesting.
The other route will lead her directly to this place, through the ones that have hounded her steps from the beginning, and she shall have her vengeance. Show her every respect when she arrives in these halls, Lord Sion. This I command you.
So I either save my friends or kill him, I think. Interesting. We'll have to see how that plays out, because I have no idea. I have no idea. This is all new, so no clue. No clue how this is all gonna work. How do I choose? That's the real question. Because obviously I'm gonna choose my friends, but I don't know how. Like again, this was never in the game before, so I have no idea how this is gonna work. Oh, that's always exciting. Game I've known for so long and known so well. I also love the fact that like pretty much everyone I trained to be a Jedi, like got to do something, and they confronted as Jedi. I think that's really cool how like they did that, and I'm so sad it wasn't in the final game. That's such a neat little twist to be able to make your choices impactful. And I wonder if you're on the Sith side, if they also confront Traya, like those whom you train, or if you don't train them, do they confront Traya at all, or do they have to have completed their story arcs with you? So that heralds back to like what we saw a lot of in the Dragon Age series, especially Dragon Ages 2 and 3. That philosophy, like that style of like story crafting, makes a lot of sense considering the source material. Okay, so here, Traya's Crescent. So it says Traya's Crescent, but like on the map, I notice it says to the prison. So I wonder if I go to the other side, will that be the other choice? Kind of want to just go here just in case. Oh, fetch me. Hi. Just not even hello, just kind of we're here to kill you. Oh. Why is it playing a cutscene? Corpse holds a powerful lightsaber crystal made for the emanations of a dying Jedi. Okay. Hurricane crystal. Interesting. So they tortured a Jedi to death there, and he produced a Force crystal. Interesting. That doesn't bode well for my friends, though. I thought it was gonna be like, hey, it's Atton's body, and I was like, oh no! But nope, doesn't look like that's the case. Wait, what? Oh, there's a J-Shell Mentor badge. And another Frida Nad's blaster. I'm pretty sure I already have one, so someone's lying. J-Shell Mentor. Wisdom +2. Yeah, it's just a better version of the belt I have. Very nice. Now, I have a feeling my goal is back there. So I'm gonna open these other doors real quick. Oh, there's cages here. Where I kind of was expecting my allies to be in this room, but well, that's a disappointment. I really got the impression that I was gonna be going to the prison to go and rescue my friends, And I felt like those cages there was the perfect place to. Maybe it's one of those things where like they restored what they could, but they couldn't add that back because there was nothing else to add afterwards, maybe? I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm hoping there's more and I just like missed something for some reason, but we'll have to just see. Okay, so over here goes to Proving Grounds, which I'm probably gonna go to, but again, like it feels like it's really trying to make the choice between like Proving Grounds or the prison. So although I cleared out the prison, I'm gonna go deeper into the academy via the prison side and see if maybe that triggers whatever is supposed to happen. If not, again, it might be something that's just missing. But otherwise, I'll probably work my way back through the Proving Grounds just for the experience and just like, you know, to do everything and make sure I don't miss anything. But I just in case the trigger ultimately is based on like how you get to the next area, I'm gonna try and go through the prison side and see if that does anything. I think this is the boss room. So, buckle up.
You should not have come to Malachor. She will break you, your mind, your body. You will be lost. Return to the surface. Let the planet claim you, as it claimed the other Jedi. There is no reason for you to suffer at her hands.
Are you showing me mercy?
It is not mercy. What awaits you will weaken you. She will break you, as she did me, and you will no longer know yourself.
Perhaps you fear what I will become.
I fear no one, for while the Force is with me, I yet live.
Why are you telling me this?
You and her are alike, yet different in all the ways that matter. And I hate you as I hate her. I hate you because you crawl within my head as she does. But your presence holds no thoughts, no teachings. You are just there, unspoken. I hate you because you are beautiful to me. And in that weakness lies death.
Interesting.
Perhaps in that weakness is the death of my master as well.
Interesting. So, I live in his head rent-free. I know that you live in his head rent-free, but I'm not sure if I remember him referring to us as beautiful, so I wonder if it's like because you're a woman. You persuaded lie. Sion, did we not battle even a presence of my mind too? Oh my gosh, can I flirt him to convert him? You can turn away from the Force, Sion, as I did. It holds you here. Let go.
One cannot abandon the Force, any more than one can abandon one's will.
What is this place?
It is ancient, a relic that survived the destruction of Malachor.
Oh.
It was always here, far before the Mandalorian Wars. It draws death and hate to it, channels it. Atrocities feed its power, and with its power, it creates hunger. Many Jedi have been consumed by it.
So that's a place where I was wrong. I always thought this place was built after. I know that the academy here was built by Traya, but I guess the building was here before. So that means that this place was a dark focus long before Malachor V, like the cataclysm of Malachor V happened. That's really interesting. I'm learning. Your master is using you. She hopes I will kill you here as a test of my strength. Okay, so where did it come from?
It has been here for thousands of years. It is a place where the Sith teachings run strong. It is the threshold of the borders of an ancient empire. Traya says it was a place of reflection for the ancient Sith, a gateway to their lands. It drew Lord Revan, and it calls to her as well. She said that the teachings here will lead one to the Sith, the true Sith, and all their shadowed worlds. This place led Revan to the graveyards of Korriban and beyond.
So yeah, So he's implying here that the cloaked, like, Sith Empire that's risen from the ashes, that's been waiting and is trying to prepare itself to destroy the Republic and Jedi. What happened to Revan?
It does not matter. The Lord Revan had the galaxy at his feet, could have made it strong, and he surrendered it to weakness. Like you, Revan touched power and turned away. The chance to heal this fractured galaxy, and he turned away. I was there when the Academy on Korriban fell, and the Sith turned on one another like beasts. Our chance at an empire, destroyed by Revan.
Where is Kreia, Sion?
She awaits on the Traya core in the heart of this planet, but you will never reach her.
Kreia's using you, Sion, using us.
Turn aside then. Deny her what she wants. She'll accept my loyalty again, for she will have no other choice.
Let me see. Reason for us to fight. Together we can stop Kreia. I think that's true, like, together we can stop Kreia. Or, she's already abandoned you and you know it. She's already abandoned you, Sion. You know it.
You are wrong. I have come farther than any of her apprentices since Revan. Even you. And I am stronger for it.
I can hear it in your voice. You know she's finished with you.
You seek to weaken me, to erode my will. You will not succeed. I am ready for you, exile. I have waited years to see the last of the Jedi fall before me. Only one may serve my master.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, this is gonna suck, because again, he's really strong, and the game seems to have buffed everybody. However, he does seem a little susceptible to my force pushes. I need to heal. Cause that's the thing. He just regenerates health by sucking it out of you. Of course, I can out heal him. Come on, Sion. Go down. And take a chance to heal while I can.
Now you realize the true power.
He just healed himself, by the way, if you
side.
didn't notice.
As long as the dark places of this world flow through the cracks of my flesh, I cannot be killed.
This battle was never about flesh, it was about belief. Yeah, see, so he's topped up again. Doesn't help that Q isn't very descriptive of what's happening. Stop sucking me! One more push and then I can heal while he's getting up again.
You are strong as I had believed. But she knows you cannot defeat me. Surrender now. Return to the surface of Malachor. Do not force me to destroy you.
She has chosen me because I gave up the Force, and you could not. Let go, and you will understand.
There is no life without the Force. The Force is a blade. Without it, one is defenseless.
Yet I survived. Am I as strong? And I am strong even to, and I am strong enough to face you now. Actually, yeah, actually that.
She sought you out because both of you were wounded by the Force, and because she had no choice. She would not willingly return to being the helpless woman she once was, nor would her apprentice.
Surrender now, Sion. I don't want to kill you.
If you will not leave this place, then I cannot allow you to pass. If you go before her, you will be broken. If killing you will spare you what lies ahead, then kill you I must.
There we go again. Like I'm getting doubles in there somehow. Stay down, Sion! Stay down! Let me win! How many times do I have to beat you up?
If I die here, then you will have sealed your fate.
Sion, even should I beat you, Traya has marked you for death. You know this.
There is truth in your words, but there is nothing left for me except my master.
You have eroded Sion's will, reducing his will, saves, constitution, and wisdom.
I fight because it is the power that the Force fills me with. To survive, to inflict the pain on others. I can die 100 times exile and still I will rise again as strong as before.
He's such a cool villain. He's really cool. In fact, he's done the disservice of being so cool and yet, like, kind of in a way being, like, underwhelming, but not in a terrible way. Just in a surprising way. Getting close to death here. Because he's hitting harder. Now I should try and suck my Force life, right? Oh, gosh darn it. He's doing a lot of damage now. I have to be really careful. Of course, I have my heal ace in the hole, but, you know, timing it when I have such a low amount of health to work with is hard.
I will not fall. I cannot die.
You have already been defeated, Sion. Surrender and I will spare you.
Why? Why did she choose you? What makes you able to defeat me? Defeat me here?
Let's see. Because I was able to turn away from it, and you could not.
It is not possible to walk away from such things unscarred. To keep living when the universe dies around you.
It is difficult, yes. But in making such decisions is what strength is.
The Force is who I am. The dark side fills me. It is what I am.
The Force fills an empty, shattered shell. There's little left of the man you once were. You know this. The truth is, Sion, you feel it. Let go. There is not such a terrible thing.
Traya, she will try to break you, to teach you how far someone can fall. Her weakness is you, as you are mine. I am glad to leave this place, at last.
And there he goes. One of the coolest, most memorable enemies I've ever seen in a game. Such a powerful, powerful character. What a crazy fight too, holy cow. And that leaves me with my emergency backup energy for the next fight to come. Now I'm gonna continue exploring. I'm gonna go through the other side and I'm just gonna see if I missed anything. Like I said, I'm guessing I was supposed to be able to recover my allies in that prison, but because there wasn't, like, the content was cut and there wasn't any extra files remaining, I'm guessing it's just gonna be left empty. But the knowledge was that we could have probably accepted a debuff for the fight with Darth Traya, but we'd have our allies, like a couple allies with us, and could have changed the dynamic of the fight. But as it is, we're gonna be facing the fight alone, like was implied, if I didn't try to rescue my friends. Which is sad, because like it could have been so much more fulfilling to see what would have happened. Ah, they are here. Disciple Mandalorian, what is he doing here? Visas. Mira. Alright, well, let's just try and get everyone. Can't be open from here, must be controlled by nearby terminal. Okay. How much you want to bet I have to fight Atten? Like a corrupted Atten? Because that would totally feel like a really, like, interesting twist for them to do. Access. You can kill them with poisonous gas or open the doors. Why would you kill them? Hey everybody, get out of here.
The Sith must be stopped. If they destroy the Jedi, the Republic will fall and my people will be eradicated or enslaved.
No, Mandalore. I need your expertise of Malachor to help my friends leave this place.
I never went to the surface. Only the sky above it.
So you've never been here before?
The world is taboo to Mandalorians. We only came here when the Republic fleet gathered and we knew it was our only chance to stop them.
You are here now, and I need you to help get everyone to safety.
I can't say I'm happy to be back here, but I believe we can do what must be done.
Good. Good job, everyone. Get out of here. I imagine we got more to save, so fight everyone else if we can. But I'm glad Mando's here to get. He's got our back. He's willing to accept orders like a soldier. I do think it's funny that we were surprised. We're like, wait, you've never been here before? He's like, yeah, I talk about Malachor V all the time, but it's kind of like, it's just a place. Alright, Atten, where are you? Nope, nothing here. So I wonder if now I do have a debuff when I go face Traya. Like, it'll be interesting. I'm not sure if I'll notice, really. But she implied that that's what would happen. I like how I accidentally killed him through walls, but he couldn't attack me because he didn't have line of sight, so he was just super weak. Alright, now we go back. Glad I came around this side of it because I found my allies, at least most of them. I definitely, like I said, like I didn't see Atten, so I wonder if we catch up with him later, or if something else is gonna happen with that. Alright, here we go. Here's the core. I don't remember how much more is there to explore. I can't, like, it's either gonna be like more places to fight through, maybe more events. I mean, like I said, we haven't seen Atten yet, so could be that, or we might be at the finale, so let's buckle up, I guess. I'm gonna save just to be safe. Nope, here we are at the core. Hey, Traya. How you doing? Forgive me, I came prepared.
Last you have arrived is Malachor as you remember.
It's not too late, Traya. I can save you if you let me.
I have thought of this moment more than you know, and I wondered if here at this ending between us, if you would care enough to try to save me, if a Jedi could find it within themselves to spare one who has fallen so far. I wanted you to say those words. For that I am grateful. But I do not want your mercy. I want you to break.
There's much I must ask you.
You no doubt have many questions. I would be a poor teacher if I did not give you the answers you seek here now.
Why did you destroy Atris?
I never destroyed Atris. She had destroyed herself. I merely stripped away the illusion and brought her truth. Her teachings could not be allowed to continue.
She's kind of got a point.
And like Malachor, she was part of your past, unresolved. She needed to be something you could confront and defeat one last time. It was part of your training. Part of what was needed to make you complete. And there must always be a Darth Traya. The galaxy needs its betrayers, especially in the times to come. She loved you, you know, as one loves a champion. You were all that she could not be.
She never mentioned such feelings.
Yes. It is all that is left unsaid upon which tragedies are built. More echoes traveling through the Force.
The Academy here won't last, Kreia. I can activate the mass shadow generator again.
More talk of machines and threats. If you would end Malachor, then do it. But it will not be a victory for you. And of course you must be willing to die. To kill us all. And your friends. You may hold Malachor in your grasp, but I hold the answers to your past and future in mine. Would you destroy us both before learning them? If so, then do it, for you have already failed me.
Why have you done this?
It is said that the Force has a will. It has a destiny for us all. I wield it, but it uses us all, and that is abhorrent to me, because I hate the Force. I hate that it seems to have a will, that it would control us to achieve some measure of balance when countless lives are lost. But in you, I see the potential to see the Force die, to turn away from its will, and that is what pleases me. You are beautiful to me, Exile. A dead spot in the Force, an emptiness in which its will might be denied.
So that's the thing. I said it before in the big compilation, like the special like story highlight, but that's the idea. She hates that the Force manipulates us. The idea is that the Force is not strictly a being, but that it has some kind of... It's weird to say like an agenda, but like she said, it seeks balance, it seeks to bring about, like, it guides people, puts people in the right places, and allows both good and bad things to happen. And she hates the fact that, like, we don't have... It assumes free will. Like, we feel like free entities, but in the end, we end up just kind of being forced into the right places and the right times and confront things. Like, what we choose to do from there is our choice, but, like, you know, the stuff we face, is that really our choice, or is that just the Force manipulating us? And she hates that. If you hate the Force, why do you use it?
I use it as I would use a poison, and in the hopes of understanding it, I will learn the way to kill it. But perhaps these are the excuses of an old woman who has grown to rely on a thing she despises.
Why me?
Perhaps you were expecting some surprise, for me to reveal a secret that had eluded you, something that would change your perspective of events, shatter you to your core. There is no great revelation, no great secret. There is only you.
But there were other Jedi that you could have chosen.
No, there were not. In times past and in times future, there are Jedi who will stop listening to the Force, those that will try to forget it, but maintain unconscious ties, and those, as in the past, just as I, who have had the Force stripped from them. But no Jedi ever made the choice you did, to sever ties so completely, so utterly, that it leaves a wound in the Force. It was a mistake to try to make you feel it again, I see that now. There is no truth in the Force, but there is truth in you, Exile, and that is why I chose you.
So the idea again, we are a wound in the Force, and I think what she thought was that if we could feel the Force again, that we would be drawing it in and thus kind of further her goal of essentially, she thought we might expand and become like a big void. Similar to what Nihilus was, but Nihilus was still like dependent on the Force. Like he was tied to it. In fact, he couldn't live. He stopped being like a person, and his existence was like tied to the Force intrinsically. He had to continue to feed on it because despite the wound he wasn't truly independent. We were truly independent. We'd cut it off, and it wasn't touching us anymore. It was like it wasn't even directing our footsteps anymore, essentially. So we really achieved something unique here. So why me? You were manipulating me all along.
Yes, always. From the moment you awoke, I have used you. I have used you so that you might become strong, stronger than I. I used your death to deceive the Sith, to make them believe they had won, so they would turn on each other.
They used me to get revenge on Sion and the others.
I used you to keep the Lords of the Sith from condemning the galaxy to death with their power unchecked. I used you to lure them to Telos, where they could be at last fought and killed. I used you to reveal Atris's corruption, so that her teaching could be ended before it began. I used you to gather the Jedi so they could be destroyed, and I used you to make those who wounded me reveal themselves, so they could be killed by the Republic.
What happens now?
The apprentice must kill the master. If you do not, I will kill you. If I do not, then all you have achieved will be as nothing, as empty and as violent as Malachor itself.
Then let us end this. Because she won't accept no for an answer. Oh boy, I'm scared. Okay. Again, we're seeing issues here where she's resisting my powers. I missed. Oh, no, wait. I have to pull the ace out of my hat again. I'm sorry. Oh, come on, no. No, not like this, no.
Fallen.
Dang it. All right, try again. Yeah, she's definitely harder this playthrough. Gosh darn it.
Fallen. Fallen.
Okay. Okay. Step 1 complete. Jeez. Yield, Traya. You need not die.
If you do not kill me, I shall end you. Strike me down. End this.
I am a Jedi. I will not strike a defenseless opponent. No, this is already over. Your life is yours, Traya, and you cannot teach me anymore.
You will not show me mercy. I will see you break before you do.
So, cool. I can stun lightsabers, Traya. So they seem to be able to resist at times. Yes, that's kind of scary. Oh, okay. The animations are a little broken. They're a little janky. But I'm holding them back. One down. I do like how they're purple. Like, they're always purple, but I like the symbolism where it's like, it's almost like she's fighting me with my own lightsaber. Because, like, my old lightsaber was purple. My new one is purple. Yes!
At last.
Yes!
You are greater than any I have ever trained. By killing me here, you have rewarded me more than you can possibly know.
Traya, there's still time to save you.
Save me? You already have. It is enough what you have done. From now into the future.
The future?
Many things do I see as I gaze here from the heart of Malachor. This place channels such energies. If it matters to you at this last moment, I shall look into the future and tell you of what I see. It is my last gift to you, from one exile to another.
This is the fun part, because this is where they tried to plant the seeds for what I think they assumed was going to be a third game at Obsidian, but turned into the MMO, and it also foreshadows, you know, Star Wars lore that we have, and I'm going to see if I can find out, because it's, like I said, it's been a while since I've listened to all of this. I wonder how much Legends got mixed in here, because at the time, Legends was considered canon, so I wonder if they referenced many Legends stuff, or they stepped away from that and focused primarily on, like, core content. So, let's see. What'll happen to my friends?
You travel with them for so long, yet you do not know them still. Feel them through the Force, feel what they feel, hear their thoughts and know them as I fought to know you. They were the lost Jedi, you know. The true Jedi upon which the future will be built. They simply needed a leader and a teacher.
So, all our friends that we, when you do the light side, that you trained up, they are the foundation of the future Jedi Order. The exile is actually the focal point of the future of the Jedi, and everything the Jedi become after this is based on the foundations of what the exile taught her companions, which is bananas. Tell me of Mira.
She will stop hunting life and instead live it. She was not born to be a predator, despite her true father and the life she led within the shadow of Nar Shaddaa. She will miss you and think of you often. You who awakened her to what life is. She will live, but only for a time. Her death will occur in many years' time on a forgotten planet, saving the lives of others. But it will be her choice, and she will have no regrets.
And Mandalore?
Many battles does that one have left in him, as Revan intended. A general needs an army as he needs those he trusts. And Canderous is a loyal beast, no matter how much he is broken upon Revan's will. But you know this.
What of the Mandalorians?
They will die a death that will last millennia, until all that remains is their code, their history, and in the end the shell of their armor upon the shell of a man too easily slain by Jedi.
Ironically, I'm pretty sure that is meant to be a reference to Boba Fett, because at that time, obviously, canon was Boba Fett fell into the Sarlacc and died. And that's not canon anymore. And so I would say if you were to attribute that to new canon, maybe it would be a better reference to Jango Fett, who was able to take down a couple Jedi, but was slain by Mace Windu fairly easily. And I also think it makes sense too because Boba is a clone of a Mandalorian rather than a true Mandalorian. But we also know through the Mandalorian stuff that like Mandalorians continue, but with Jango probably died the best example of what they were culturally. And Visas, what of her?
The blinded one shall return to her home world, and she shall look upon the surface of that world, and perhaps at last see what she was meant to see. Her life has been changed by your meeting in ways that may not be felt for decades to come.
Did I save her?
Salvation is a relative thing, but as you understand it, yes.
And the disciple?
He cannot help but love you in his way. It is a pure, ideal love he holds, yet somehow it never dulls in your presence or through your actions. If he leaves this place, he will leave the galaxy behind him. He will sit upon the new council, reluctantly as all good men do, and he will not forget the Jedi who had lost the Force, yet showed him the way to reclaim it. After that I do not know. I do know that you must leave him behind, the same choice that Revan made. Where you are destined, you must not take anyone you love. And of the ones who traveled with you, that is all I see.
And you?
I would have killed the galaxy to preserve you. I would have let the galaxy die. You are more rare than you know, and what you have taught yourself must not be allowed to die. You are not a Jedi, not truly, and it is for that I love you.
And bao-dur, the droids?
Their paths are unknown to me. Even the small one who waits for you outside this place. I sense it has one last journey for you. You must go where Revan did, into the unknown regions, where the Sith, the true Sith, wait in the dark for the great war that comes.
Yep. Exactly. The Sith Empire's out there. And Revan, he came here, was here. What happened to him?
It is because he remembered what lay buried here, this place, its teachings. It paved the way to Korriban, you know, the remnants here. And because Malachor, like Korriban, is on the fringes of the ancient Sith Empire, where the Sith wait for us in the dark.
But we fought the Sith.
Have we? You thought that the corrupted remnants of the Republic, the machines spawned by technology that Revan led into battle, were the Sith? You are wrong. The Sith is a belief, and its empire, the true Sith Empire, rules elsewhere. And Revan knew that the true war is not against the Republic. It waits for us beyond the Outer Rim, and he has gone to fight it in his own way. And he left the Ebon Hawk and all its machines behind, for he knew he would not need them. And like you, he knew he must leave all loves behind as well, no matter how deeply one cares for them.
Why?
Because such attachments are not the way of the Jedi, and they would only bring doom to them both in the dark places where he now walks. It would have helped had he made her understand, But she was always strong-willed, that one, and did not understand war as Revan did.
So, again, referencing to the Bastila, who totally shouldn't be alive in our canon playthrough, but whatever. Why did you not follow?
Because I did not know where he had gone. If he had asked, would I have gone? I do not know. But he will need warriors, Sith and Jedi, any who can be sent after him into the depths of space, for any who know the way. Perhaps you shall go there with him and do battle at the end of all things. Instead, I remained here, and now show others the way.
What's interesting is, according to the text, the exile does land up on Dromund Kaas, which is the capital of the Sith Empire now, and the seat of where, like, the guy who completed, like, the proper ritual of how to absorb force powers without, like, completely destroying oneself. Not the same way the exile could, obviously, but more like Darth Nihilus, but in a perfected way instead of becoming like a self-wound way. Like Darth Nihilus tried to like kind of do it by just simply exposing itself to sheer death on a massive scale, which worked essentially, but the way that the Emperor of the Sith Empire did it was more out of betrayal, but willingness on his followers' behalf. And then, so in the book, what happens, Revan goes out there, just like is able to confront the Emperor and his wrath, who is like his right-hand man, his strongest warrior, defeats the wrath, but the Emperor then captures Revan and holds him in stasis and kind of digs through his memories. But Revan's clever and modifies his own mind to kind of showcase the strength of the Republic rather than the weakened state it's in right now. He shows like memories of the Infinite Fleet from the Star Forge. He shows images of the Republic triumphing over that fleet and the Jedi being strong and destroying all the Dark Jedi that he twisted, and like showcasing this whole like insane war in a way that looks like way stronger than is possible. And then the exile follows in his footsteps, and that spooks the Emperor even further, saying like, wait, there are others who now can find out where we are. So he ends up like trying to seal the border there and decides to wait and build his strength for another like few hundred years, I think, which gives the Republic the chance to breathe that it needed to kind of build itself back up again. But the exile does die in that process, unfortunately. But it implies, too, that the exile's Force Ghost, essentially, walks with Revan, because Revan, whilst, providing this information, is also being held in suspension. And in the MMO, there is like a special side story you can do. It's like a group dungeon type of event, where you get to actually see and help free and release Revan from this kind of like stasis that he's been kept in. And because the Emperor, after like eating that information from his brain, uses him as like a funnel for Force power to continue to power himself. And so you end up freeing and kind of seeing the end of Revan there. What of the Republic?
The Republic will fall, as it always has. A fall that will take millennia under the care of the herds of Ithor. The surface of Telos will bloom again, and its golden fields shall again harbor scientists and thinkers.
Yes.
And complacent and peaceful, it shall forget the time that Saul Karath orbited it and brought fire to its skies. But it shall be a home world again to others who will stretch out across the galaxy and bring life.
Tell me of Dantooine.
Dantooine shall survive. The community you saved shall be the foundation upon which Dantooine shall be habitable again. They shall drive back the raiders, the Mandalorians, and all that strike at the outer rim. The Republic shall again establish their presence there, and shield it with its forces. And Dantooine shall heal, be safe, and its skies free. The ruins of the Academy shall remain.
And Nar Shaddaa?
Nar Shaddaa shall persist as it always has, but there will be a heart to the world where there was nothing before. Where once the lost and disposed were trapped there, now they will struggle and grow. From despair shall come hope.
What about Onderon?
Queen Talia shall have a long reign. Much good will come of it. She will, as she has, rule wisely and well. Onderon shall remain in the Republic, and the world shall prosper, though its people shall, over time, lose their customs in the ocean of the Republic and become the people of Onderon no longer.
Tell me of Korriban.
Korriban shall be as it always was, a graveyard for the darkest of the Sith Lords, still whispering within their tombs. It shall always be a source of evil, spawning threats throughout the millennia. It, like Malachor, brushes the edges of the Empire that waits in the dark, and like Malachor, the Sith have forgotten it. For a time, they will remember. Revan knew this.
Let's see. I asked about what happened to our friends, what allies.
You travel.
It's the same question, yeah. Okay, so we got all of that, and it's interesting because I do remember lines. I'm gonna go through real quick because I remember more lines. I want to see if I can find them.
And you that have we you are and he because such attach it be bad in.
All right, so now we've gone it over. I think I thought I remembered in the game that it referenced like how the Republic would live for millennia, but then how it would fall by the hands of one who would manipulate the Jedi. I think it like made a reference to Palpatine, but maybe I'm misremembering that. We'll see. Rest now, Traya. Your time in this place is over. Atton! You're alive!
You're alive. Did I save you yet?
That's cute. Yes, Atton, you did great. Yes. Be still.
Your eyes. That bad, huh? Always was ugly. Now the outside matches. Was waiting for this, but it's not fair. Let you down. Was supposed to save you.
You did, Atton. You fought bravely, and I could not ask for a greater sacrifice.
Was tired of living anyway. Too many deaths. Never told you. Lied to you.
All that was your past is forgiven, Atton. No, yeah, you never needed to tell me, Atton. I knew.
I don't want you to see me like this. I don't want to die in front of you.
Oh man.
Can't bear it.
Fetch me. There is no death, Atton. There is only the Force.
Loved you from the moment I first saw you. Thought you were a dream. Meant every word. Tried to play it off as a joke.
Aww.
Wasn't funny. Hurts when I laugh. Hurts.
I'm sorry, Atton. That really sucks. There we go. Finale at last. So there, our allies were able to recover the Evan Hawk, flew into the core and saved us. And sadly, Atton didn't make it, which is really sad. That definitely wasn't in the game before, but it was powerful. We flew away, activated the gravity well, destroying the planet forever. And then we prepare the foundation of the new Jedi Order, well, the rebuilt Jedi Order from the foundation of the Exile, the focal point, would spread and become the Jedi Order. Unfortunately, it becomes bloated, weighed down by teachings that probably shouldn't have been as recovered by Disciple. Disciple's the true foundation because of all his history and knowledge and the holocrons he's recovered. He builds up that foundation. Basilisk Shaw also joins the council. She has a kid, who I believe also has a kid who is the main character in the Knights of the Republic MMO game. Yeah, I already talked about what the Exile does, but this is just that foundation. Beautiful, beautiful story. Well done. So well written. So fun. The first game had a much more compelling plot line with a really like jaw-dropping, gut-punching twist. This one didn't have that, but it really just tackles like the philosophy of the Force so well, and just really kind of brings up this whole idea of like, what if somebody wasn't light side or dark side necessarily, but just hated the fact that the Force manipulates everything, gets in there and makes things happen. We love it because it's a really fun like Deus Ex Machina for storyline, and it makes it really convenient and easy to tell fun heroic stories. But when you really think about it, it's kind of messed up that like the Force essentially uses all life as its plaything. And that means that pretty much all conflict, both especially with like light and dark side conflict, it's kind of just part of the will of the Force. It's kind of sad if you think about it, but absolutely well done. Fantastic, absolutely amazing storyline. I'm so happy I got to share it with you all. I got to be able to kind of do this challenge run and complete it. And, you know, here's the thing. There are a lot of rumors about the potential fate of a remake of the first game. I want it to be done because I feel like it could be so well developed if you gave it a good team, gave it the breathing room it needed with the enhanced modern technologies. I could see it running like a modern Final Fantasy game, which would be really fun to have that kind of marriage of like turn-based and action, and make it feel like a real Jedi story, real Jedi like combat system and everything. But at the same time, I worry that it's going to be rushed, it's going to be a cash grab, it's going to do a lot of disservice, and there's going to be retconning and changes to the story. Like a writer trying to be really clever might try and twist the twist, which I think would just ruin it. So like I'm really nervous about that, and I'd rather it fail than it be done in like poorly. I'd like to believe it would be done right, and I think that it's probably going to happen. But I feel like at this point, whatever the plans were for its redo now, I think it needs to be scrapped. Everything that they did, I think needs to be just canned because that project's already died, essentially. Let it die for real. Get it in the hands of a developer that knows what they're doing and can start from the ground up using the foundation of the first game. And hopefully we can have something good. So I guarantee you, that game comes out, we're playing it on this channel. I'm going to make it happen because this series means too much to me. And even if it's not the greatest, wow, it's getting loud. Even if it's not the greatest, I plan to play it and I want to like critique it, break it down, and show what it, like maybe where it succeeds and where it fails. Because I owe it. Like, I play visual novels and lots of JRPGs and just RPGs in general. My love for that type of content, for choice-based, character-driven content where the story adapts and molds itself to the choices of the player, not so much in a like, oh, this is how I go about a fight, but rather, these are the choices I make and the ripples that you see. Look at how Traya was able to kind of like expand and explore like the after effects of the choices we made. And if you do a dark playthrough, those lines are all very different. It's really beautiful and well done. It's something I love and I'm so happy that I fell in love with. It was this was the foundation of what essentially is this channel, Knights of the Republic 2. Because I played Knights of the Republic 2 and it really kind of sparked my interest in this stuff. It took me a long time to discover visual novels because they're Japan-centric and it took a long time for a lot of them to be translated and brought over. But I was set up for falling in love with that type of narrative and character-driven content rather than just gameplay. So I owe everything this channel is to Knights of the Republic 2. So while this series itself will I never see as much success as anything else on my channel, this will always be in my heart the core of what my channel is and what I've become as a person in a lot of ways. So thank you. And also very special thank you to George Lucas. Even if you don't agree with his storytelling, he really nailed it. Remastered Content Mod, thank you so much. These are people who really worked hard to bring us the extra content. They dug in, they did interviews with cast members, they fixed everything they could, and even made new animations to try and like bridge things that couldn't quite be brought together. It's amazing. So much work went into this. It was a work of love and just passion by people who just wanted this game to be what it could be. And I'm so grateful for each and every one of them. Thank you all so much for bringing about something new and interesting. The beta testers, like all of it, like people who made this mod, you should be saluted and celebrated. And look at it, they even translated it. Oh my gosh, like it's so cool. I'm so glad they did this. So yeah, thank you so much for each and every one of you. I don't want to do a review, a rap party, because I've already done that essentially. It happened in the middle of the episode, 2 episodes ago. So yeah, don't understand like this is going to be the finale. And I love it. I love every aspect of it. So thank you so much for everyone who was part of this. Knights of the Old Republic and the Sith Lords, fantastic, wonderful stories. I'm so glad they exist, and I'm glad that they're being considered and kind of reincorporated back into canon, because it is some of the stuff that I just would be so sad to lose. And here we are. We're at the end. So thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the patrons, to the members who support the channel directly, who give me hope and a bright future for the content on the channel. For those of you who subscribed and followed the channel, who have been a part of this journey, it means so much to me. And frankly, there's a lot of people who ended up watching that analysis video I did, like the analysis part of this story, because I changed it up. I went with a title that was a bit more like algorithmically friendly. I went with a different thumbnail which was more eye-catching. And it worked. It brought a lot more eyes to this project, but the thing is that only could work because it wasn't strictly a let's play. It was more of an analysis. And so I understand that the rest of the content doesn't quite work out as well. But you know what? I think it is going to be a good testament to me that in the future I'm going to change some of the naming schemes I do for the channel as I start a new series, which will Starfield to be the first one we do it with. But know that I'm so grateful to each and every one of you who came along and shared your content, shared your thoughts, and shared like that passion that I have with this game. And it's nice knowing there are so many of you out there who are willing to click on a link like that and watch these videos. So I hope that this is something that we all can learn from. And I hope that we move forward in a way that is meaningful and successful and just happy in general. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you spending your time, your energy. I hope you have a great end of your year, that we can have a better 2024 than we had in 2023. Ultimately, I feel like we can make the future better in our own ways. Kind of like the Force. Like, there's truth in stories as fictional as this. Ripples and echoes. The choices we make may seem small and insignificant, but they send out ripples around us, and they affect people in ways we can never predict. So let's all try and be the best we can be. Bring about the best good, the most potential that we have, and let the universe hopefully feel those echoes and go in directions that are positive, despite the darkness, despite the fear, despite the hate. We can counteract it as best we can. I believe truly in a hopeful future for humanity, for all of us. And it seems very like broad to kind of be taking it in now, but like seriously, all of this foundational to what it means to be human. So let's do our best. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. And until the next video, watching me, ever see me next. I'll see you there.